Howdy everybody out there in YouTube land. Welcome back to the channel. So I hope you guys are enjoying the building sessions that we've been working on with the mechanics and the magic theory of these fantastic routines that we're putting together. Disclaimer, I once again apologize for any background noise. We do have the kiddos. There is a TV in the background too, so just in case you don't enjoy this, go ahead and check out whatever's on there. I don't know, screensaver maybe. The mountains. Anyway, so the first thing I want to talk about is Learn Sleight of Hand Magic.com. Now it might just be Learn Sleight of Hand, but either way, it's the new website from Douglas Kahn, the Encyclopedia of Magic. It is the one-stop shop. It is a classroom. It is legitimately a website that you can go to not only to get free content, some excellent resources, especially if you're already a member of his YouTube channel. You're already getting so much there, and that's only $5 a month. But you can check out Learn Sleight of Hand, and you have multiple tiers of things to look at. You can do monthly or annual. You get all of his content, but if you really want to go all in, you can get one-on-one coaching from the encyclopedia himself. I mean, this is like a college course. I'm telling you, this is accredited and everything. Okay. Now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about something right here, coin magic. As you can tell by the title, we're going to be talking about a coin magic routine. Now, this is kind of interesting because one of the first things that you learn on Learn Sleight of Hand, the website I just talked about, is a coin magic routine, but it's a single coin routine. Now, this is something that I've been kind of putting together for quite a while, and watching that video has gotten really got me partnered up with this idea. And the reason why that is because something that Doug advocates so much is modular pieces, right? So it's kind of like, and I'll use this example of something that I learned when I was learning how to drive a car, right? So I mistakenly said, if I could learn the roads, then I'll be able to drive on the roads, right? And the person said, no, just learn how to drive the car so you can drive on any road. Right? When we're learning coin magic, what you really do is you want to know, you want to learn the car. You want to learn, this is your method of transportation, right? You know, it doesn't matter where you're going. You can go wherever you want if you know how to drive the car. Of course, don't try to drive in the water, or outer space. You know, soon though, soon flying cars are on their way. Anyway, so let's talk about a lot of communication going on here in terms of how I want the phases to look, right? Because this is the big finish. The big finish. So the question is, where am I starting? The beginning, the middle, and the end. The narration of this is so important. We're storytelling. That's what we're doing, right? So we really need to get down to the nitty-gritty of how to tell a story. Dialogue is so important, but also so is the background, the setting, the characters, everything that goes into it is so imperative to what it is that we're doing. So we know that we want to get to the big finish. That's this. The real question is, when we get there, is this the finish? Ha-cha! Big coin, is that where we're going? Or is the big finish, ha-cha? You see the big coin is here, but now, just by squishing it down, whew, now it is small once again. What do you want to do? Do you want to start with this coin, do some, and I'll do a single phase thing for you here. So let's say we do something like this, where we're going to take this coin, we're going to put it into the hand, and then we're going to make it disappear. But it's actually going to reappear right over here. You see that? But it's really only the front side, because the back side is actually green. Yeah, the back is green. Of course, just kidding. See? That's how that would go. Okay, now what if we were to take this coin and we were to do something like this, right? There's the front, or the back rather, and here is the front. We're going to take that coin and we're just going to take it over here for a second. Yeah, we really got it over here. I know, you thought I tricked you, right? But what if I were to actually stretch that coin out into something bigger? Haha! Now that's like a rough draft of a beginning routine, right? But it ended with the big coin. And that's the plot, the idea, right? So is that where we want to go? Is that what we want to do? There needs to be some more flow to it. You need to put some more dialogue in there, and you really need to play around with the characters a little bit more. You might want to do 3 different things. So here's my thought process, right? And what I really like to do is I want to get some discussion going, and once I get a rough draft of this, that website I mentioned earlier, there's actually a spot that you can post some stuff. Or I might go on to Reddit, right? I might try that, okay? And just post the rough draft of it once I got it clean enough and get some feedback and ideas on how these phases could go. So here's my thought process on this, walking through my idea. You start with the single coin, a single coin routine. Nothing else is even in your hands. You're literally just starting with one coin, and you just simply make that coin vanish and reappear in all sorts of different ways, right? Could be anything. You can play around with it for 5 minutes if you really wanted to. Now you take that coin, you get rid of it. No, really, it's not here. And it's not, well, that's a little clunky, right? But either way, there it is. So the idea here is that you have the coin, a single coin, that you're going to vanish and reproduce. Now we're going to start getting into these terminology pieces, right? This is going to be your single coin production and vanish. What we're going to call that is conjuration, right? I'm a big D&D fan, so we're going to call that conjuration, right? Because that's where teleportation comes in, making something vanish and reappear. It could be illusion or conjuration. In this particular effect, here's what I would say. Everything, you could say everything that we do is illusion, right? Because we're doing sleight of hand. But let's talk about this. What would it really look like if it were real magic? And the idea is that it would be teleporting from one place to another. And how that would look, in all honesty, is the idea that you have a coin in this hand, you're going to place it over here. Now, I have no sleeves, but the coin will actually disappear from this hand and reappear under the elbow, right? Because it teleported down the arm. So that's how it would kind of look, right? It would disappear from one place and reappear in another place. That's vanish in production. Conjuration. So the first phase is conjuration. It's a single coin jumping from location to location or disappearing completely and reappearing someplace else. Boom. We've got that labeled. Phase 1, conjuration. Done. Right? So now all you need to do is learn about 5 to 10 sleights with a single coin. That's it. You can learn 2 or 3, and that's fine. But here's why I'd advocate for more. So then they could be varying degrees, and you have to keep in mind the difference in coin, right? So let's say you have a Morgan dollar. Now I could potentially do this if I had a different jumbo coin. This is a Kennedy. And so I'm using the Kennedy because I have the 50-cent piece. I practice more often with the Morgan dollar. And the thing is, I can get away with doing the behind the palm with that. I can't really get away with that because it's too small. So what I have to do is I'd have to do more of a clipping maneuver, which is something like throwing it into the hand here. But then all you're doing is you're just pushing it through the fingers here so that it's hidden in the back. That's kind of the idea with that. Now your angles are kind of important. I've got the camera over here now. Usually it's over here. So I have to turn a little bit when I do this, which is fine because it's a profile view. This is what you want them to look at. This is empty back here. Now once you show this is empty, because this is the clean hand, you can make the coin reappear simply by waving your hand over and doing, you got to be careful with it, but you're basically grabbing the essence from the air and throwing it into the hand. And there it is. So making that as magical as possible, but again, that's all conjuration. And learn multiple sets of sleight of hands. We talked about those modular pieces. Every time that you do this routine, it could be different. With 9 or 10 or, just more than 3, you're going to want at least maybe double digits, so I'd say 10. 5 to 10 single coin vanish and productions. Okay, that way every time you do that phase, the conjuration phase, it can be a different routine. And that's great because let's say you're doing something for a single person. You can do some stellar stuff because their line of sight is here. What if you're surrounded? What if your sleights, like I just said, what if your clip, you got it behind your hand here and you got somebody standing here? That's a no-go. So all of your sleights have to be more of in the hand so that, you can really make that disappear in a really positive way. And then you can really make that coin just reappear wherever you want it to by keeping the sleights locked in to your hand instead of doing like behind the hand or even like on top of the hand with a bad angle or something like that. So those are the things you really want to pay attention to, not just in this phase, but as we move along. So let's go ahead to phase 2. That's 4. Why do I do that? Phase 2. So now this one doesn't necessarily have to be the Kraken coin, but this is the next phase, which is a switch, right? This is kind of like if this were teleportation conjuration, this is a switcheroo, which could still be considered conjuration, but all in a little bit of teleportation, okay? But it's really starting to get into the final thing, which is transmutation, which is, you're switching 2 coins, but let's talk about what that would look like in real magic. You're either doing one of 2 things. You're doing something super magical, right? So this is what it looked like. You got 2 coins. Something super magical where you're just simply waving your hands over the coin. Simply waving your hands over the coin, and now the coin changes colors. Okay? Now, what we're doing is we're switching the coin. Well, it's trippy, right? Because what you really want to do is you want to make sure that the coin is in the same position that it was in. See how that one was a little bit off? You really want to make sure that coin, the next coin, is in the same exact position or as close to the eyes can tell as the, so like for instance, if it's here, right? And I've got this coin in the middle, but then I bring it all the way over here, it's not as mesmerizing if the coin is jumping. Okay, so you got to make sure it's in the right position. Now, physically, what we're doing is we're switching the coin. Magically, you're either switching the coins in a way that, like, this coin has vanished. Okay, this coin is gone. It's gone. Okay? But if you add the addition of this coin in, it would look something like this. Watch. We take the Kennedy $50, and we're actually going to make it disappear, and in its place is the Kraken coin. Alternatively, we can actually take that coin, and we can actually magic breath it back into the Kennedy coin. Okay, so those are the 2 ideas. You're either going to magically make it switch places in space. You're going to make this coin disappear and the next coin reappear, or you're going to be an alchemist and you're going to transmutate the very fiber of reality and make this coin become, it's the same coin, become that coin. Those are your 2 choices. If you want more of a magical, aspect to what you're doing, it's all alchemy. Everything that you do is, smoke and mirrors, hacha. Or it's more of a, I have trained for many moons to have the skill to pull off what it is I'm about to show you here today. Yes, we take 2 coins, a Kraken coin in this hand. Simply by turning this coin over, it becomes the Kraken coin, which means in this hand is the Kennedy. They have switched places. It's more of a skill-based idea, but it's also more of a switch places idea and not a switch coin idea. So the only difference is in that type of setup, they're seeing the switch in like a real way, whereas if you're magically switching the coins in the hand, they're only seeing 1 coin at a time, like for my 2-for-1, which my 2-for-1 is already set up for phase 2 because I'm showing 1 coin and it's 2 coins for 1, right? Because then I can just go ahead and just switch places all day, and that's my second phase. So second phase is already done. You can go check it out on the channel. It's brilliant, in my opinion anyway. So the ending of the 2-for-1 puts us in a position where we're already clipped, and this is documented on the channel. Multiple buildings of this. So you can take that whole setup and put it in here, right? So where that ends is a clipped right here, and you've got this in your fingers for your display, right? Because this is your end, right? Because you just got into this maneuver where you put the coin here and you're ready. You've just pulled this coin out of their hand, but you want to sell the idea that you still have a coin here, and you want, for a split second, you want them to be like, wait a second, where's the other coin? Because this hand is open, you're clearly showing this, and now this motion right here, it's got to be so clean, right? You're going to toss the coin that's clipped back into the hand as you tuck this coin down. And then you want to give it a moment of suspense, right? Because this is the clean hand, right? Because that's the coin you want to show. This coin is now gone. You want this coin to, it's out of there, vamos, right? And you want to go into your next phase. This is a perfect opportunity to show that the coin has switched once again. Now it's back to the Kennedy, which is so important to set up for the next phase, which is, of course, making it a big coin. Now, I don't want it to be a single phase ending. I don't want to just produce this, but I also don't want to go back into a single coin routine. So that's why I wanted to introduce the flourish, which is, obviously this is here like this, and then you're just your natural state. You're not even really clipping. You're just having it rest the lip of it on either your hand, your thumb, so that you can just grab it up and kind of hide it in a good way. Or you want to have it on the edge of the table so that you can just clip it there. But either way, you're in a natural state. You've just showed that the Kennedy is back. Lots of magic is happening here today as we have endeavored to make a coin disappear and reappear, and even make the coin switch places with another coin. But maybe in the next phase, we can actually make the coin a little bit bigger. If you wanted to go, you want to be more of a joking, you'd be like, because for the 2-for-1, I actually have a move where I drop the coin, and you're like, but it's so clunky. Oh, it's just an optical illusion. Yeah, that's really just an optical illusion because this hand is closer to you. Yeah, what actually happens, and that's the switch, right? Your hand is your cover, and then you're just going to go right back into this. Now, they might, it's like, oh, well, you got 2 coins, obviously. Well, again, I point this out to so many people in my head that, obviously, but if you really want to go into that, then maybe don't do that necessarily, that joke of it. But so the coin roll can be the first phase. Yeah, it's just an optical illusion, so you got to get better with the coin roll with the jumbo coin. It's just an optical illusion. Because when I have it back here, so basically you want to bring the coin up as you're finishing this and bringing it back down to start again. Right in that sweet spot, you want to bring this hand up, blocking with your pinky, and drop this hand down, but then bring this hand back as you kind of just like lift it up to show them. It's really a perspective thing, it's more of how you look at it, I guess. And you could bring it back around, and then this is when you can go into this moment of, it's kind of, here, let's take a look at it like this. And you're actually going to do the French drop here, where you just load the big coin into the hand, but in a magical way, obviously. And it's like, hey, you know what, let's take a look at, what's going on here. How do I want to do this? Wowzers. Showing it like this, executing the French drop as you really just make this as big as possible, right? This big coin. They already know you have it. So I'm not really sure, like that's a magical moment in itself to me, right? Because you're at this juncture, right, where you can actually create this, and again, I appreciate Doug Kahn for reminding me of these moves. That's what's so important, is because if you set it up in such a way, I can do it better with this hand. I have some really good webbing on my hands, part frog or whatever, so I can actually hold a coin in such a way where I can hide this coin pretty well while showing off this coin at the right angles. So the only way somebody would be able to see that coin is from this direction, but my other hand is covering that. So then don't do that. You can pop that coin up, which is a great time behind the hands. You have this in the subtlety. This is blocking with the webbing. Pop that coin up, as you bring this hand up, you're basically just dropping this coin down. Now this could be the second phase, but I feel like this moment is so powerful that you might want to leave that. But what I love is I love the ending where it's almost like you're doing the same move that I've been doing the whole time, which is the classic retention, your classic palm with the retention. But let's see if we can pull that off with just having a free form, because you just done this with your left hand. It's just in classic palm hidden behind the coin, and instead of throwing this coin into the hand, you're actually just gonna throw that into the hand from underneath the coin, and then you're just gonna ditch, but make sure that you've got it gripped like this, like you got a big coin. So let's see, why would you do that? Here, why don't you go ahead and take a look at that, So let's see if we can pull that off here with a good camera angle. We want to start off to the side because we want to hand it off to somebody that might be to our right. So after you've made this appear, you're like, I know, be careful with that flash right there. You probably want a closer look at that, right? Oof, that was a terrible one there. Terrible, I say. Here, why don't you take a look at that? There it is. It's small. It's because I tried to hold on to it, but I squeezed too tight. Now, normally, I would just grab a second coin, but I'm actually down to my last Kennedy, so, modern currency and all that. Now, I feel like we've talked about this so much, but conjuration, teleportation, vanish and production. Conjuration again, teleportation, transmutation idea. As it merges and transitions into the idea that now you're shrinking and making and enlarging. Now, obviously, one of the things that I've talked about with this in the past is like camera angles. Oh, it's all about the camera. Hey, you know what? That's a little small. Let's go ahead and make it a little bit bigger. Like, take a screenshot. It'll last longer. Just make jokes about, as in terms of it getting bigger. There's also some risque jokes you can make there, but we're going to stay away from that for this moment. Either way, just talking about the ideas of what you can get into, especially if that's your type of magic. You can make any pattern that you want for it. But that's the story, the transitioning effect of the story. It starts and then it ends with the same coin, because that was the ending, right? We did the coin roll. We did the production. Here, take a look at this coin. This coin is now gone because everybody's looking over here because you're in a finger palm situation, but you've clawed your hand out in such a weird, wonky way, because that's what it looks like. Like, I can palm this almost, but that's what it would look like because you're handing out like this big thing, but it's perfect for it looks the same. It looks pretty much the same when you hand that out to him, and then this is gone, and now you're just left with the single coin and everything's cleaned up. And that's really what I want to go with, because it's also a loop. It's also something else we learned from Copeland Coins. It's a routine that you can roll, because you can go right into more coin magic if you really wanted to try something else. Let's say, hey, we've got this going on here. Copeland Coins has corner pocket. You can do a corner pocket routine. Or let's say you're like, hey, you know what? We've got one of these. Why don't we go ahead, if you had more in your coin purse? I've actually got more of these in my pocket. Let me see if I can do something with those. And then you pull out more of them. And then go into a bigger routine like that. Or, you know what? I think I've talked enough about money today. Why don't we go ahead and jump into something else? You can move on to your next thing. You have so many options of transition, but it brings you back to a single coin where the other coins should be gone now. And you can easily just, you know what? Let me go ahead and put that in my hat. And now we're moving on. So many options. So go ahead and take that into consideration. I hope you really enjoyed, once again, what we're doing here on the channel. Make sure you go check out LearnSleight-of-hand-magic.com. I keep saying Learn Sleight of Hand Magic. I think it's just Learn Sleight of Hand. Whatever it is, go check it out. .com. we're gonna link it and all that. Thank you, everybody. And remember, stay positive, stay active, and stay awesome as we throw our hat at you. And we'll see you in the next one.